Is oh, thank you. So the way that I read this, right? So I read it from a from actually, from a physician's perspective. And so, when I'm reading I Am That, I was in the middle of medical school. I was actually doing my PhD at the time, but I had finished 2.5 years of medical school at the time. Uh, and so I'm reading it with this very how can this language be transformed into a practice that we can actually teach our patients, right? And that's kind of where I come from when I read Nisargadatta. And in fact, one of his books, I think we mentioned it last time, was actually called The Ultimate Medicine, which is edited by a physician who's actually in the same specialty that I am, which is physical medicine rehabilitation, which is really sort of looking at um, how do you improve your function or quality of life or decrease suffering, irregardless of what life may have thrown to you, whether it's an accident, injuries, surgeries, congenital issue, whatever it might be. Um, how do we help you improve your function, improve your quality of life, and decrease suffering? And so that's kind of how when I scan these things, I'm always sort of thinking of how can this help me and how can this help my patients, right? How can this help me and how can this help how can I translate this into a practice? How can I translate it into a practice? So that's what I come from, right? It doesn't have to be like published in like the New England Journal of Medicine or JAMA or any of these, it doesn't, it's sort of like, if I ask you to take a deep breath or, um, you know, relax, it kind of goes along those lines, right? And so the inward inquiry here is, in my opinion, and I believe in a lot of other opinions, is sort of understanding or having an inquiry into who you really are, who you truly are. And as we do that inquiry, what happens to the suffering? What happens to the resistance of the present moment? And so, if I'm just going to pull out like one of his quotes that just came up on my Facebook account was, suffering is exclusively the result of resistance to flow with life. Um, and you just notice, what am I suffering from? Right? Am I suffering? And what is it? Well, usually it's something that we want to change. It's something that we were resisting is what is happening in the present moment. Um, and that's a really powerful thing when people are in chronic pain or when people have like severe pain issues. Is a lot of us, we identify with our pain. We identify with that sensation of the aching, throbbing, piercing, whatever that might be. And you know even even identify with it, and actually, that's sort of like the language is used. Oh, that's a chronic pain patient. It's like, stay away from that sort of thing, which is actually kind of sad um, because what we want to try to do is actually prevent it from happening, and also deconstruct that that thinking, that that suffering that occurs over time, and it's nobody's fault. It just happens. And so, another one on suffering: you do not suffer, only the person you imagine yourself to be suffers. You cannot suffer. And so, if we take that and just say, wow, that's a big that's a big statement, right? I feel like this pain is really getting to me, right? I am suffering. And then we go underneath it, and sort of the techniques of trying the best you can. Of course, medication and surgery and injections are useful, but trying the best you can to kind of understand of, what is this pain? What is this sensation that I'm feeling? And how am I identifying with it? How am I taking this to be who I am? And then the next question is, well, if I'm reading this and I'm not pain or these sensations or these thoughts or these emotions, then what am I? Right? And regardless of the absolutely nagging, gnawing, aching sensation that I'm feeling, can I go beyond that to my true nature? Can I go beyond that to my true nature? And in doing so, is there some relief? Right? Because that's ultimately, it's sort of like searching, right? I'm going, it's like this inward inquiry. It's like, is there some relief? And so that's the perspective that I come from, when I kind of read these quotes too. So let me start from the beginning of where I have these highlighted here. And so the first quote, and so you'll see a certain pattern, maybe a pattern that I'm trying to emphasize. But here we go. Are you ready? Refuse all thoughts except one, the thought I am. Okay. The mind will rebel in the beginning. Yes, it did. But with patience and perseverance, it will yield and keep quiet. Once you are quiet, things will begin to happen spontaneously and quite naturally without any interference on your part. Quite the powerful statement, right? It's really simple. This is why it's so simple. Stay with this. Your mind will rebel at first, but just stay with it and something will happen. And that's kind of exactly how I describe it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that something was, but something happened, and that therefore led to some sort of transformation, right? So refuse all thoughts except one, the thought I am. So that's an easy, to me, that's actually a really easy instruction, right? Like, I'm not giving you this whole like list of 50 things to do. It's like, okay, first you need to inhale here, and then you have to hold this navel part, and then you have to go upside down, you have to put your shoulder up here, and then you have to, do this, and then you have to breathe this. And if you don't do it for 6 seconds exactly, then it's not going to work. It's like, no, just get rid of all your thoughts and just focus on one. What's the thought? I am. Okay. That seems pretty straightforward, right? Um, why not turn away from the experience to the experiencer and realize the full import of the only true statement you can make, I am? Just keep in mind the feeling, I am. Merge in it till your mind and feeling become one. By repeated attempts, you will stumble on the right balance of attention and affection of your mind, and your mind will be firmly established in the thought feeling I am. Whatever you think, say, or do, the sense of immutable and affectionate being remains as the ever-present background of the mind. Wow. Okay. So now, right? So for me, that's really important because now there's a mind-body connection. And what it is come through the mind, repeat the I am, and feel it in the body as best you can. And slowly, what's going to happen is your body's going to start to feel it. Your body's going to start to feel it, and through repetition, through trial and error, you're going to find this perfect balance. Okay. Again, real easy. It's sort of saying, look, stick with it. There's going to be a balance here between the body and the mind, and this felt sense of I am is going to emerge. It's going to emerge. Why not turn away from the experience to the experiencer? So this is also a big thing, right? Because in a lot of these groups, even in like, not to like, I don't like dissing anybody, but in a lot of like sort of spiritual practices of groups, people are still seeking this experience. It's sort of like, I had this, lights were shining from me and rainbows were popping out and stars, I was opening my eyes and stars were coming out of my eyes and stuff like that. And everybody's like, oh my God, like that person, and it's like, that again is just an experience. Just like I could be, oh my God, there was this dark bolt of light coming through my, and oh, they're possessed. No, it's just again, it's just an experience, right? So we tend to like pay a lot of money for experiences, we tend to go towards experience. I want that experience. I need that experience. That person had that experience. In fact, I'd probably say we're wasting our time. And so turning away from this experience, because what is an experience? An experience is just a manifestation, right? As opposed to, so here's your experience, and now, resting in the experiencer. Okay, so that's what he's saying. Right? So it's sort of this, oh wow, here's my experience. Oh, my experience is one of, let's say, I just involved in a motorcycle accident or motor vehicle accident, or I lost my leg, or I have a cold, or well, here's the experience. Yeah, okay, and who's the experiencer? And so even if you're sick, right, who's having the experience? And inquiring about that. And so again, this turning from the experience, because we're so focused on the experience, and the experience, again, the experience is a wave that is manifesting from the totality of the potentiality. Okay. So here's the wave that's coming out of the ocean. It's just another wave. It's just another experience. And we're saying, oh my God, that's such a great, cool experience. That's what I want. We go out and we pay $1,000 to get that experience. And then we say, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Oh, well. Okay, so let's turn away from the experience to the experiencer and realize the full import of the only true statement you can make, I am. Just keep in mind the feeling I am, merge in it till your mind and feeling become one. So I really love that, right? I really love that. Till your mind and feeling become one. So to me, what that's saying is mind and body, or you can say mind and heart, whatever you want to say, right? But sort of mind and feeling become one. So this mind and body sort of become one by sticking with the I am. Okay. Merge in it till your mind and feeling become one by repeated attempts. So again, he's saying, it's not just one, it's repeated attempts. You will stumble. Love that, right? Stumble on this right balance of attention and affection. Oh, I don't actually have to, once you do it so frequently, you don't need to actually pay so much attention. And feeling, it just becomes this sort of I am, right? Whatever you think, say, or do, the sense of immutable and affectionate being remains as the ever-present background of the mind. So just think, right? What's the background? What is your background? If your background is sort of perpetual thinking and thoughts and worrying and stuff like that, then that's the background. But those are emanations from the background. They're not the actual total potentiality through which all experience arises. Okay. Do not bother about anything you want or think or do. Just stay put in the thought and feeling I am, focusing I am firmly in your mind. All kinds of experience may come to you. Remain unmoved in the knowledge that all perceivable is transient and only the I am endures. To know what you are, this goes back to what Linda said last week, 2 weeks ago. To know what you are, you must first investigate and know what you are not. And to know what you are not, you must watch yourself carefully, rejecting all that does not necessarily go with the basic fact I am. The idea I am born at a given place at a given time from my parents, and now I am so and so, living at, married to, father of, employed by, and so on, are not inherent in the sense I am. Our usual attitude is I am this or that. Separate consistently and perseveringly the I am from this or that, and try to feel what it means to be. Just to be, without being this or that. All our habits go against it, and the task of fighting them is long and hard sometimes, but clear understanding helps a lot. The clearer you understand that on the level of the mind, you can be described in negative terms only, such as I am not, the quicker you will come to the end of your search and realize your limitless being. That was pretty consistent with what Linda was saying, right? Hey, in order for me to go into the I am, it actually helped first to understand what I was not. I am not this. I'm not that. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a father. I'm not this. I'm not that. Blah, 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 blah. Well, then what am I? Right. Um, okay. Give up all the questions. Okay. Except for one. Who am I? After all, the only fact you are sure of is that you are. The I am is certain. The I am this is not. Struggle to find out what you are in reality. I am itself is God. The seeking itself is God. In seeking, you discover that you are neither the body nor the mind, and the love of the self in you is for the self in all. The two are one. And this quote I actually put in my book, All Love. The consciousness in you and the consciousness in me, apparently two, really one, seek unity, and that is love. What do you love now? The I am. Give your heart and mind to it. Think of nothing else. This, when effortless and natural, is the highest state. In it, love itself is the lover and the beloved. All right. I love that. The consciousness in you and the consciousness in me, apparently two, really one, seek unity, and that is love. So, what do you love? By focusing the mind on I am, on the sense of being, I am so and so dissolves. Am a witness only remains, and that too submerges in I am all. Then the all becomes the one, and the one yourself, not to be separate from me. Abandon the idea of a separate I, and question of whose experience will not arise. On a deeper level, my experience is your experience. Dive deep within yourself, and you will find it easily and simply. Go in the direction of I am. The concentration on I am is a form of attention. Give your undivided attention to the most important thing in your life, yourself. Of your personal universe, you are the center. Without knowing the center, what else can you know? That's a good question. My advice to you is very simple. Just remember yourself. I am. It is enough to heal your mind and take you beyond. Just have some trust. I don't mislead you. Why should I? Do I want anything from you? I wish you well. Such is my nature. Why should I mislead you? Common sense, too, will tell you that to fulfill a desire, you must keep your mind on it. If you want to know your true nature, you must have yourself in mind all the time until the secret of your being stands revealed. It's a good. I love that, right? I think we were talking like, why would I mislead you? Um, I wish you well. Such is my nature. There you go. Why would I? When I say I am, I do not mean a separate entity with a body as its nucleus. I mean the totality of being, the ocean of consciousness, the entire universe of all that is known. I have nothing to desire, for I am complete forever. So that's a good quote to put like above your bed when you fall asleep. I'll go. Okay. Uh, when I repeat I merely assert and reassert an ever present fact. You get tired of my words because you do not see the living truth behind them. Contact it, and you will find the full meaning of words and of silence. Both. The best is the simple feeling I am. Dwell on it patiently. Here, patience is wisdom. Don't think of failure. There can be no failure in this undertaking. Hold on to the sense I am, to the exclusion of everything else. When this mind becomes completely silent, it shines with a new light and vibrates with new knowledge. It all comes spontaneously. You need only to hold on to the I am. Begin with feeling I am. All else is neither true nor false. It seems real when it appears, it disappears when it is denied. A transient thing is a mystery. The real is simple, open, clear, and kind, beautiful, and joyous. It is completely free of contradictions. It is ever new, ever fresh, and endlessly creative. Being and non being, life and death, all distinctions merge into it. Okay. Those are just a few.